Hey guys, here we have a 12-inch Robbins Myers oscillating fan. I would say probably from the 1950s, maybe even the early 60s. Not too sure about it. So this is going to be the pre-restoration overview and also the initial test run, as I have not tested this one yet. And this is somewhat of a recent find. And it's in pretty decent shape. Not the greatest, but also not the worst. The first thing you'll notice is that the center badge is missing. And it almost looks like it has one because of that giant rubber bushing in the middle, but it's supposed to have a stamped aluminum badge in the middle that says Robbins & Myers in a diagonal font. But it's a pretty cool fan. Let's take a closer look at it and we'll plug it in and see if it runs or see how well it runs. Okay, so a closer look at this thing. One of the first things I noticed with it was how badly scratched up these blades are. I mean, take a look at this one. This one's the worst. And I'm not really sure what could have inflicted this damage, but you can see how deep the gouges are. It goes right into the paint and even to the aluminum below. So, not very good. I'm not sure if there's a way to fix that other than, completely stripping the paint and repainting, which I don't want to. But at least from a few feet away it looks okay. So there's the missing badge, which should be kind of hung on these little tips there. Chrom's okay, a little bit tarnished and rusted in a few spots, but nothing that a little bit of steel wool and WD-40 can't take care of. So interestingly, this fan uses a rubber bushing in the center of the blade hub, very similar to the GE strap fans, or the GE standard. Whoa, this thing's falling over. Similar to the GE standard fans from the 1950s. So, if you look further in there, it acts as a noise isolator and vibration isolator from the motor, and keeps the fan running quieter. Only problem is it makes the fan harder to service down the road. And here is the back. So check this out. This fan has a very interesting motor housing design. It's a two-piece motor housing, but it's split down this way. So you have this half here joined together by, I'm assuming this bolt, maybe some other ones. Typically you see these motor housings that have a two-piece as in front and back, so there'd be like a seam along here or somewhere. But no, this one's joined down the center, and there is this rubber, like a trim piece, I guess, gasket or something that covers up the gap. The problem is the rubber deteriorated over time and it cracked right there, so there's a little bit of gap there. Maybe there was an extra piece over here, which is also missing. It's broken back here and looks like it kind of shrunk on this side. So a very interesting design. Never seen that before. And here is the oscillator knob. Again, this is very similar to the GE standard fans where the oscillating mechanism is in front of the motor. The motor's back here, the gearbox is situated up here, and this is the little knob, which I think you're supposed to use a coin to tighten and loosen it. Kind of makes it inconvenient. I'm not sure what they want with the design, but yeah, this is kind of an interesting fan in many different ways. There's the head wire, which is actually cloth, much like the earlier 1920s and 30s and 10s fans. All metal base. Let's take a look at this tag here. So it doesn't appear, so I don't see a model number here. I'm assuming that model number was on the badge, which is missing. But this is a Canadian Robbins Myers fan in Brantford, Ontario. 0.7 amps, 110 volts and 60 hertz. So no mention of the date, but I would say it's from the 50s. It's got a little switch here. Oh yeah, rotary switch. Maybe it's a single speed or a 2-speed. Test it out. It's got a cord on here which looks to be original. You well listed. And there's a repair spot here. Hopefully that doesn't conflict with the operation of the fan. But let's see if there's anything underneath it. Not really. Just some rubber feet, which are miraculously still intact. I'm surprised, yeah, these look to be original. Is there anything in here? Just wiring, that's it. Okay, let's plug it in and test it out. Let's undo this cord. It's nice to have a light source in this room again. Installing that Casablanca really made it more lively in this room. The original was a good fan, but not having a light kit on the ceiling was pretty inconvenient at times. Okay, I'm gonna plug this in. Oh, that's powered on. Shut it off. Oh, no, it's still plugged in. I mean, switched on. I guess this is a 2-speed fan, I guess. And it works. But I wasn't ready. Okay, now we're ready. So here's the actual test run. So I guess this is a 2-speed fan. We'll start with the first speed, presumably high. Let me see if I can make sure it's not blowing straight into the camera. It's a good running fan though. Let's see if it shakes. No, that's smooth. It spins like a top. So it's not going super fast considering it's a high speed. It's on high speed, but that may be due to the fact that the bearings, the oil in the bearings are gummed up. It looks like it's almost slowing down. That's weird. Huh. Well, let's test the next speed. Which, yes, it is low speed. Oh, that's slowing way down. Okay. Well, that's certainly not operating where it should be. Hey, but it works. That's a good sign. Let's... Huh? That's weird. The knob for the oscillator is spinning, which should mean that the oscillator is engaged, but the fan is not oscillating. Well, that's not good. Okay, so I guess the oscillating mechanism is broken. Either there's a stripped out gear inside or some linkage is missing. So that's unfortunate. Okay, well, there's our first test of it. It works, not very well, and the oscillator does not. So once we take it apart, I guess we'll be able to diagnose what the problem is. I'm really not looking forward to taking this one apart though, because of the rubber bushing and also the gasket thing going on in the middle of the motor housing. This fan just doesn't seem like the easiest fan to service. Alright, I don't want to run it for too long. Spin down time seems okay though. Interesting. Well, there it is guys, the 1950s or perhaps the 1960s Robbins Myers, the Canadian Robbins Myers 12-inch oscillating table fan. A cool fan to have. I've never, well, I shouldn't say never, I've very seldomly seen these around. In fact, I've seen the American Robbins Myers more appear in Canada, more than these Canadian ones. Very interesting design. I'm not sure if this exact fan was sold in the States as an American Robbins Myers, but it does look a lot like a GE standard fan, or at least it takes a lot of design elements from it. So, cool fan. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one, so thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.